Hi, Noah. First off, congratulations on Suspicion premiering this Friday. I'm super excited to talk to you. I'm a big fan.
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
yeah. Just jumping right in, seeing as how this show centers around a lot of mistrust. Was there a particular time in your life that you can remember telling the truth, but no one would believe you?
Last night I had a fight with my wife, and she just didn't believe me. Uh, Nothing's jumping to mind when I think I know I've had that experience.
You know
Like
what?
I can hear myself saying, "No, it's true. It's really true," but I can't remember where or what I was doing. Uh, uh, it's a very frustrating thing, huh? When the truth is not heard or when it's not believed.
Yeah.
It's a really relevant question. It's a great question because it's sort of what we're going through now. Like, it's like that saying, a lie can travel around the world and back while the truth is still strapping on his boots. Lies spread so quickly, so easily. It becomes very hard to work to scrape your way out of that lie if you haven't spoken first. It's almost like the first person to say it wins rights on the truth, especially with social media, especially with how quickly it can spread. Something that gets said, and once it's heard, it can't be unheard. And then the person who's protesting against it, even if it's completely false, sounds like they're lying. It's a weird dynamic.
It's I felt like it was super relevant around the point of the show. One thing that I found really interesting about the show is how the kidnappers wear the masks of the royal family, right? One of my favorite movies is Point Break, where the bank robbers wear masks of ex-presidents. So what is it about political figures that you think make them ripe for criminal masks?
Well, there's a lot of people that think political figures are criminals to start with anyway. So it's not a big stretch to wear a mask when you're doing a criminal activity. But it's intriguing. It's an incredible distraction because those faces have quite a bit of baggage associated with them. You see a mask of the Queen of England or a mask of Ronald Reagan, and you're very distracted because of the story that the mask is telling, which has nothing to do with the person wearing the mask or the situation that they're in that particular moment. So it's a whole story. It's a very effective distraction tool that kind of hijacks your mind. And masks are such powerful things anyway. Not just the masks that we put on our faces, but the masks that we wear on our real faces all day long. I think that's one of the things this show explores is what is underneath the mask and can we ever know?
Yeah. Last question before I get out of here. I got to tell you, one of my all-time favorite movies is The Truman Show, and I love it so much. Over the last 20 years, it's become this really cult movie. Were you surprised to see how weirdly prophetic it's become?
Yes. It was prescient. I mean, it predicted. It was made before reality TV was really a thing. There was just maybe that MTV show.
The Real World, right?
The Real World. I think that was the only show that maybe it existed when we made that movie. But the whole world of the Truman Show has sort of come to be to some degree in a weird way. I never would have thought that. It seemed like a dark fantasy at the time, and here we are.
Here we are. Just
I don't know where we're going. Yeah.
Noah, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. You're awesome in the show, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
First off, congratulations on Suspicion premiering this Friday. I'm going to jump right in with a question for everybody. Seeing as how this show centers around a lot of mistrust, was there a particular time in your life that you can remember telling the truth, but no one would believe you?
It's a good question. Like specifically, I mean, of course, if I rack my brain, I'm sure I could think about moments where I think I'm telling the truth, but it's been misconstrued as something that's untrue. And then you find yourself backpedaling and then you think, wait, am I actually being truthful or am I just trying to push my narrative? I think everyone as a human being has been in that position and may continue to be as well.
But I suppose on the easy end of that is, or like the lighter end of it, it's that would probably be one of the most frustrating situations you could find yourself in. And then also on the sort of heavier side of it, something that could like completely, as we see in the show, implode people's
life-changing
worlds.
Yeah. All of my stuff is from childhood. I mean, it's just getting my mom to believe that I didn't do something to my brother. That's mostly all it is.
I've got a rap sheet as long as my arm when I was a kid.
One thing I really found interesting in the show is how the kidnappers wear the masks of the royal family. Because one of my favorite movies is Point Break, where the bank robbers wear masks of ex-presidents. So what is it about political figures that you think make them ripe for just criminal masks?
Well, I think in Suspicion in particular that it speaks to holding people in positions of authority or establishments to account, and nobody should be able to avoid accountability for their actions, including establishments.
Yeah, and I think it can mean different things to different people as well. That's going to evoke a different emotion that I think the show does really well, is doesn't try to answer any questions, but just kind of puts fairly provocative questions out there, and then everybody can kind of be on a different side and both be right,
Right. I didn't know this going into it until I started researching it, but Suspicion is a remake of an Israeli TV series, False Flag. Did any of you guys watch that series to prepare for this, or did you look at Suspicion as its own thing and just want to kind of come in fresh?
I think every actor has a different process. For me personally, I watched it just because I wanted to see what that sort of genre looks like. Anyway, I ended up really loving the show and watching it, and I became a real fan of the show. Ended up watching the second season as well. But it didn't inform me about our story, because though our story is based on it, our story ends up being obviously very, very different. But it was just a joy to watch as a fan for me.
I didn't watch it only because I didn't want to feel like I was trying to do the same thing, because I loved it. Although now I should go and watch it.
It might be nice to watch it now and just see it.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
good. It's really good.
I watched it for the exact opposite reason. I watched it so I could steal ideas.
Well, no spoilers, but this is always something that I'm curious whether it's like a murder mystery or a show like this where there's you don't exactly know who's telling the truth or not. When you guys read the script, did either of you guess correctly who the kidnappers were before you finished it?
No.
Well, yeah. I mean, no. We
Which is
we knew.
Is it good enough?
Yeah, I can't. We all had broad strokes of what our characters' storylines were, but none of us knew how it ended, and were quite shocked.
Nice. This next question's for Kunal. For Big Bang Theory, you guys had this amazing 12-season run. I mean, it's just incredible. Such a great show. Now that we're seeing so many cast reunion shows or revivals, approximately how long do you think it's going to be before we see something similar for Big Bang?
What a great question.
What's it been, 2 years?
Yeah, it hasn't been long.
Yeah, how long did Friends
20?
late?
Was it 20?
Yeah, so when I'm 60 years old, if television still exists and we haven't been...
I can't say that.
I don't know. Look, to be honest, it was a really wonderful time of my life. And now I'm enjoying other endeavors as well. And if that were to happen, then it's in the universe's hands. But currently, I'm just enjoying spending time with them. And maybe we'll do a Suspicion Big Bang crossover. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's what the world needs now.
That's what it needs, yeah.
That's where it's at right there. The Suspicion Big Bang crossover. I love that idea. Elizabeth, for you, now we're seeing Daredevil and Kingpin return to the MCU. There's been this huge rallying cry behind Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans to both bring back the show and make it canon with the MCU. Would you have any interest in reprising your role as Jemma Simmons in the greater MCU, or are you satisfied with how the show ended?
Oh, well, I mean, yes to both. I'm satisfied with how it ended. I think at the end of season 5, we thought that was it. And then to get 2 more seasons was just such a joy. And I feel like we had so much fun. I loved how it ended. I didn't think I would ever feel ready to walk away from that show. And I think the writers did a really great job. And I'm so proud of that final episode. And I think, we left it in a beautiful spot. But equally, I loved being on that show. I loved the family. I loved playing Simmons. So I'd always be open to reprising the role, definitely.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I really enjoyed the show that I've seen so far. I haven't got to finish it yet, which is why I didn't want to get into spoilers. I'm like 2 episodes away from finishing, but thank you so much. I know. And have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.